Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Orchata back with another video, and I'm excited to keep yapping, keep chatting, keep talking about the important things. Today we're continuing on with our little chit chat video. So this week I wanted to focus on something that kind of goes hand in hand with the other topics that I've discussed, but if you haven't picked up on it already, one of my main beliefs is that what you pour into yourself ends up translating into how you show up in different spaces, and like basically it translates into your impact on other people, other things. And so what does that mean? It means it starts with you. So I think something that is really important in that process of trying to, again, accomplish your goals, make plans for your future. I said, I think something that's really important in goal setting and really creating your dream life, which is what I focused on in my last video. If you guys haven't seen it, I'm gonna link it here for you guys. But one of the most pivotal things in going on that journey towards, again, creating your dream life and really going after all the things that you want and honing in on, once again, your impact and accomplishing all the things that you want to, is making sure that you figure out what you need as an individual to feel like you can be your best self in order to show up for those things and be able to do those things. So today's video, I wanted to focus on self-care, tips on practicing self-care, and I would say generally, like, if it resonates with you, it resonates with you, but more specifically based on my own self-care routine. It fluctuates, it changes, like it's not always perfect, you know? Another takeaway that hopefully you guys have from my videos is that even though you're not gonna get it every time, even though you're not gonna be perfect, it's good to have a base or like some type of like foundation and like some type of framework in how you operate your life. I think routines are very important, and just like making sure that you're on the right track, making sure you're continuing to like stick to your values, your priorities, the things that matter to you. And again, even if you're not going to be perfect, even though there's going to be days that you're going to slip up, generally I think it is crucial to have a self-care routine, whatever that looks like for you. Once again, case by case basis, like what might be good for me might be extra for you. Like it might not be something that makes you feel like your best self. I think it depends on who you are, like what puts you in a good headspace, how you define like self-care, like your needs, all of these different things based on, again, you as an individual. But I think for me, how I would even define self-care is just like what makes me feel like my higher self. How can I uplift myself in big or small ways? Like what would that look like? And I broke it down as basically like into 3 different categories. I think for one, practicing self-care is mental. I think everything is mental. If there's one slogan that probably would be mine, it's everything is mental, because I'm sure you guys are fucking sick of hearing it, but I do genuinely believe that to be true. Like I feel like that's something that really pushed me in my college career, like at Georgetown, being in prestigious spaces, being in very like challenging spaces. I think me telling myself like, hey, if I tell myself I can do anything that I set my mind to, I will be able to. Like I've accomplished some great things with that philosophy. So I really do think like we have to start again within, like in the inner world. I've already discussed some of these things before, once again, in my previous video about like manifesting and like building your dream life and, you know, kind of like breaking down like your belief systems. But I think it's important to like practice certain rituals and routines that help sharpen your mind and help you like hone in on, again, what those beliefs are, allow you to keep learning. And I think your mind is a muscle. Not actually. I'm just saying, in the same way that other things are a muscle and you have to keep working at it in order for it to remain strong, I think you have to do that too with your mental. One thing that is a really big ritual in my self-care routine is listening to podcasts. I'm very much a self-help girl. Some people are like, oh my gosh, Estella, like, are you just sad all the time? Like, are you good? Like, are you okay? Checking in. I wanted to be a therapist initially. Like, I'm very interested in psychology. I'm very interested in feelings and being your best self. And I think that is a huge part of my identity. So like self-help podcasts are like huge for me. And it also depends on what my goals are, you know, at the moment, what my focuses are. So recently I've added some podcasts for like finances, just like financial literacy, specifically from the perspective of women. I mean, I can go into a whole rant about that, but like that's something I'm passionate about. I think investing is very important. Finances, getting my finances in order, like those things are very high up on my list of priorities for this year. So that's something that I've been listening to. There's also like spiritual podcasts that I really enjoy because, again, I think it's important to choose things that are in alignment with you and where you are at the moment and what you prioritize. And I do think that I'm a very spiritual person. Like, I'm not the most religious necessarily. I'm a bit religious. Like, I definitely believe in God, but I think as a person, even though I don't have the most precise beliefs when it comes to God necessarily, like, I wouldn't say I am very strict about the religion that I subscribe to. I do highly believe in a higher power. I do think that God is good. I think God is all powerful. I think coming from a Catholic background, like, there are a lot of those things that kind of still stick with me, a lot of those beliefs, but I very much do believe in God. I do believe I'm protected by a higher power. I do believe people are inherently good. Like, there are a lot of things that are very much influenced by my Christian and Catholic upbringing. So listening to those types of podcasts also is really good for like my mental. I also enjoy exploring different topics, like seeing different experts speak on like different things that they specialize in. One podcast that I appreciate is Jay Shetty's podcast. He's probably one of the biggest podcasters in this moment, at least in the health and wellness field. So listening to him about like all things health and wellness, whether it be physical health, like talking about lowering blood sugar or cholesterol, or hearing him like speak to pop stars and pop culture icons about things like ego and confidence and self-esteem, like all these different things. I think it's very interesting to hear different people's perspectives on different things. I'm just realizing that maybe a part of that was like with COVID happening. I think at that point I was like at my peak of like socializing. Like, I had so many friends, like was constantly like around people, and I think I almost was grieving like that aspect of life, just like being able to socialize as much as I was. And I think podcasts became a form of still somehow feeling like I was engaging in these interesting, deeper level, more intricate like conversations and intellectual conversations about things that, once again, like 2020, 2021, like I, especially being like immunocompromised and being in like the deep suburbs of, not even deep, but like kind of deep suburbs of PA, being sent home from college early, like all these different factors, I feel like I wasn't really socializing as much as I wanted to. So it allowed me to be exposed to these different perspectives and like, again, allow like intellectual conversation and dialogue to continue to be a part of my life. So I think that is really helpful if that's something that you're into. There's some that I listen to in terms of like my artistic interests. There's one that I really do enjoy. It's called Easy A Podcast. They haven't posted in a while, but I really enjoy it just in terms of like speaking to my artistic like interests. They talk about acting, they talk about being a poet, which, surprise, I actually am a poet. I don't really talk about it often. But point is, like, I think being an artist and also being a very empathetic human, just trying to be a good person, like trying to, again, grow as a person, those are kind of like the focuses of that podcast, which is probably why that's one of my favorites, honestly, is up there with Jay Shetty. But that's something that's very fascinating to me. And there's other ones like Girl Get Your Ish Together, which focuses on like relationships and like womanhood and navigating relationships as a woman, which I think is very interesting. And once again, I think it exposes me to different perspectives. Like, there's aspects of these podcasts that really do enable me in the sense of like, they affirm the things that I've already believed. One thing I do like about these podcasts is that they also open my mind up to different perspectives and almost challenge like the way that I've perceived and like navigated the world all of my life in a very eye-opening and interesting way. So hopefully that gives you a little bit of an idea of like what that looks like. If you guys want me to make a video specifically about my podcast, I'm happy to make that. Just let me know, drop it down below in the comments. But yeah, that was just like an overview of like the podcast that I think really do play a pivotal role in my mental health routine, just because I think, I forgot what the phrasing of it is, but the opposite of depression is curiosity. I'm sure it's also gratitude, but like, I think things that keep you learning, that help you learn, help you like stay grounded, if that makes sense. Like, I think sadness and depression, like a lot of times they can close your mind up. If anything, they can make you feel smaller. To me, when I'm learning, like when I'm being challenged mentally, I feel like I'm uplifted, like I feel bigger. I feel like I'm pouring into myself because I'm expanding my mind. I'm not closing my mind. So that's really helpful. But aside from podcasts, I also like love listening to music. Whenever I get like my Spotify Wrap, I swear, I'd be surprised. I don't actually, but I'd be kind of surprised because I'm like, I damn near listen to music like every second of the day. Like, babes, do you know how to sit in silence? It's probably why meditation is so hard. But the point is, music, I think, is huge for me. Being a Taurus, just being a very artistic person, like, I need me music. And that ranges, that varies. Like, I've been told that I have very diverse music taste, and I agree. Like, I can either have some Bad Bunny on, I could have some Hozier on, I can have some Coldplay, Rihanna. What else can I have? Morgan Wallen. Like, this is why when I go on aux, I try not to like go on shuffle, because when I tell you, you're gonna hear every fucking genre. I wish I was being dramatic, but point is, I digress. Music is a really big one. Journaling is really important. Therapy, affirmations, gratitude rituals. Those are things that, once again, help with the mental health, because in terms of journaling, like, you need to just get it out sometimes, you know? Like, I realize a lot of times when I'm talking to my therapist, like, I have the tools. I just need a friend. Like, I need someone that I can dump on, and like they're not actually like my friend or my family, because I feel like that's unfair to them too. So yeah, like having outlets, I think in that sense, like having a therapist, having journaling, like those are really important things to have if it helps you, obviously. Like maybe like video diaries is helpful for you, but having a space where you can like really just express yourself emotionally and not have to worry about, again, trauma dumping or like affecting someone negatively or something negatively because you need to release those emotions. Like, it's very much a safe space, and I think everyone needs a safe space. And if you're not comfortable with that too, like, sometimes you just need a friend. Not to be like, hey girl, like this is a solution, but like, just be like, hey girl, like I just want to talk shit. Not talk shit as in like be messy, but like, girl, like, would you believe what this man did? Would you believe what happened to me today? A part of it is like having a space where you can like turn some of those negative experiences into like positive ones. I think it's like super important. Like, as girls, we need to yap. We need to talk about it. Like, I don't know about you, but if I don't talk about the shit that is going on in my head, that I'm experiencing, that I'm feeling, oh, that shit's scary. Like, I'm a ticking time bomb. Everything is like suddenly a reason for me to react. Everything's a trigger. So I think we all need, like, again, those safe spaces, whatever that looks like, to really just like release everything and like detach it from you, you know, just let it go. I think aside from like having spaces to just like vent and like let everything out, I think it's also important. I think this also goes hand in hand with podcasts, but I also think it's important to read. I know it's not everyone's thing. For me, again, we're reeling it back in. For me, it's super important to read, because that's another way of like exercising like my mental muscles. Like, I need to keep learning. I need to keep opening my mind. I need to keep diversifying my perspectives. Having an open mind, understanding different perspectives, hearing different perspectives is very like at my core of just my identity. So again, doing those things that like continue to hone in those critical thinking skills, I think is really important for me to like feel grounded and like I'm myself, basically. Like, I'm working towards my best self. Now, in terms of like physical things, because the physical also matters, I think it's important to be active to some degree, like obviously for health reasons, but also because that, for a lot of people, it helps your mental. So I think for me, it's like when it's warmer, especially, like if I can, I'll try to walk instead of like take my car somewhere and like get my steps in. Sorry, y'all, my phone keeps falling. But I also try to go to the gym whenever I can. Usually it's like, probably say it's been 3 to 4 times a week. But yeah, I feel like that's also like a form of therapy for me. Like, just being able to like sweat it out, I feel like always makes me feel better. I've been trying to get into classes more. So I've been trying Orange Theory. I am gonna try Solid Core because I've done a Pilates class before and I felt like that was really a good experience. Being active, I think, always makes me feel mentally better. So, and also looking better. also makes me feel better about myself. Like, I don't know, when you're healthier and you're fit, I just feel a difference in like my confidence and my self-esteem. So that's always good to do. There's also things like ClassPass. I haven't tried it before, but like you can try different classes, which I think is a cool concept. I feel like doing physical exercise and doing mental exercise, they're both equally important, okay? We need to make sure we're doing that routinely, like every week, a few times a week, at the very least. But yeah, the last thing is just like knowing what you need as a person, like to feel like you're having fun, like you're doing things that you enjoy, you're doing things that make you happy, outside of those two like things that maybe feel like more needs, like doing the mental and physical exercise. I think there's also things that you should just do because you enjoy doing it. Like having hobbies, I think is super important. And I talk about this a lot with like my close friends, but like doing things for the sake of like just doing them and not necessarily putting a pressure on it when you do it. So for me, it's like acting, my makeup also, like I think shopping is really fun for me. Like I have a bad shopping addiction. We've already talked about this, babes, but let's just gloss over it, okay? We all have our demons. I think my demon could be worse than shopping, but I mean, hey, we're not comparing. Every evil is evil, but point is, shopping's really fun for me. Like, even if I'm not gonna go and splurge, looking around, I think browsing, like being an in-person shopper, because maybe my generation, I'm saying it like I'm old, but I feel like my generation was probably one of the like last to like really experience like the experience of like in-person shopping. But I'm very much an in-person shopper. Like, even though I'm not spending a lot, like I'm a look. I think also just like being able to like create outfits in my head, like getting inspiration. Chef's kiss is the creative. Like, yeah, I love that shit. So shopping I think is really fun. Doing that alone or with my girlies, whichever, like shopping. It's gonna be a time regardless. I think also just like being in the sun and being in nature is very important, which I'm learning like now. It's feeling like 80 and 70 degrees. It's literally feeling like damn near summer. Like over the years, I've realized the vast difference between my mental health when it's warm and my mental health when it's cold. The way I be thriving, like nothing can ruin my day damn near when it's warm out. Damn near. There's a few things. But generally, I'm like, it's so hard to ruin my day when it's really warm out. Cause like, me and my sister, we grew up like tanning outside, like in the summer. Like we loved going to the beach. We loved like going to the pools. We loved just sitting outside and like listening to music and like vibing. Like me, good weather, sun, vibes. So I think that's something that's also really nice. And also like being in nature generally. Like I'm not saying I'm like the type to be like climbing trees and fucking camping every other week, but like I do once again enjoy being outdoors and like hikes. Like I enjoy things like that. My family and I always used to like go biking. We used to go on like walks at local like parks, like local trails. We would go like feed the ducks. Like being in nature, I think it's always good. It was a good form of self-care, okay? Because it really does clear the mind. And it's a good way of like escaping without like needing to go on a vacation, you know? It's still a form of escape. Just like getting some vitamin D, breathing in some fresh air, some really fresh, actually fresh air. I'm not talking about the air in your apartment, the central AC. I'm talking about fresh air from the plants and shit. Like that will put you in a good headspace. And the last thing that really I feel like puts me in like good spirits mentally, and like it's a big part of my self-care routine, is just hanging out with people that I love. Like I am such a quality time type of person, and I think it really makes the world of a difference when I have that quality time with people that are, you know, that pour into me and that like are a part of my little community. So hanging out with friends and family, I think also regularly is like super important for me. And I would also recommend to do to make sure that you're taking care of yourself, because I'm very much like a relationship oriented person. Like I think accomplishing things is cool, buying things is cool, but at the end of the day, like who are you gonna share that with? And that's why some people talk about like millionaires and people who have like so much money and so much status and so much power who are miserable. I'm not saying everyone, right? There's a way of balancing and still prioritizing both. But I think having those things, to me, doesn't equate happiness. I think having a community, having people that like you can share your wins with, who you can like mourn your losses with, like that's what keeps you going. Like that's what makes you feel like your cup is full, at least for me. So I think regularly like making time for those relationships is like super important to me. Like, yes, again, there's gonna be times where like I might not be able to see like my family, I might not be able to see my friends as much because I'm grinding, I'm on top of my shit, like I need to like get a lot done. But at the end of the day, that's the base. Like that is the base that I've set for myself, where like I can tell myself like, okay, hey, this is a priority. Like, let's reflect. Again, at the end of the week, we didn't spend much time with our family members. We didn't really see our best friends. Like maybe we should schedule like a coffee outing. Maybe we should like stop over my mom's house. Like you have some time, let's prioritize that. Because once again, those are things that like help fill your cup. So ultimately, I feel like I kind of went through all of that fast, but self-care really does depend on what you need as a person. And I think it's very important, once again, to ask those critical questions like, how am I feeling at the end of this week? Like, what contributed to that? How am I feeling after this interaction? How did that contribute to my mental health? And if there are things that you've acknowledged over the years, like they make you feel good, they make you feel like your best self, I think being able to establish like a routine for yourself where you're making time for those things regularly is super important to make sure that, once again, you're pouring into yourself so you can show up for the things that you need to show up for and that you want to show up for, because that is what ultimately helps you like live a full and happy life. So yeah, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope that was really helpful and some things resonated with you and stuck with you and potentially insightful for you. But yeah, y'all, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like, comment, subscribe if you did, and I'm gonna see you guys next time.